Are you ready to make an amazing sheet cake? Well, come on along with me. Let me show you how to make the Jolene Dolly Parton banana pudding cake. It's so easy. Come on.
Hello family and friends, I'm Susan and welcome to my home.
And it's time for a dessert. Not your average dessert either, and something kind of new and unusual. I was watching a guy on TikTok and he was making a cake. And it wasn't just any cake, but it was a sheet cake, and he named it Jolene because he used Dolly Parton's banana cake mix, and he made the banana pudding cake that's on the back, but he did it in a sheet cake version. And let me tell you, it is so good. I basically followed his instructions and not the instructions on the back of the box. So I'm going to try to list the recipe that you can print out and then listen to what I tell you to do on this video because it's different than what's on the box. And if you take your notes on the recipe, then you can make the Jolene version of this cake, and it is amazing. So watch this video. And I hope this gets you to wanting a Jolene cake. All you have to do is get the ingredients and listen to how I put it together. So let's get to cooking. And we are going to make the banana pudding cake. I saw this on TikTok and it looked so interesting, and y'all know Danny loves banana pudding. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. So I've got all the ingredients laid out. I've got my Dolly banana cake mix. I've got some vanilla wafers. I've got some buttercream frosting. I've got some vanilla pudding. I've got a stick of butter melted. I've got 1 cup of milk, 4 eggs, a banana, and some heavy whipping cream. So let's get started putting this cake together. My oven is preheating at 350 degrees, and I'm going to be using a 9x13 pan. So let's get started making this cake. We're going to start with the actual cake mix itself. 1 cup of milk. We're going to do the 4 eggs. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to add in the 1 stick of butter that's melted. Go ahead and put that in. And 3 tablespoons of pudding mix. 1, 2, 3, which leaves a pretty good bit left. And I am going to make this a little bit different. This is going to be the Jolene version of the banana pudding cake. I am not going to make 2 separate cakes and then put the filling in the middle. I am going to do it like the TikToker did, which looked a little bit easier. And plus I don't have 2 cake pans, so that's just the way life goes. And this is a very thick mix. Look at this. I wasn't gonna get my mixer out, and it looks like I might ought to get it out because that's mighty thick. And yep, I'm gonna get the hand mixer out. I'm gonna get this blended up real good. And like I said, this is really thick already. Look at this. And I haven't got all the stuff in here yet. I can tell you one thing, this thing tastes great already, and I ain't done much, so this is getting me excited. Now, as far as the Jolene goes, you actually melt a stick of butter in the pan, which I am going to put that in the oven and let this stick of butter be melting, and then we'll start with the next part. Go ahead and get the rest of the banana pudding mix done. And 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Okay, and let me mix this up. And I feel like it's not thin enough. I know what I saw him do was a little bit thinner, so I'm going to add another 1/2 cup of milk. It does say 1 more cup, but I've already added a cup of the heavy whipping cream. So I'm just going to do half a cup of milk. And of course, whenever you're making something, you make it the way you want it. And since he didn't make the recipe quite right, because he did a sheet pan, I'm following his lead on this one. Okay. Now let me cut up my bananas, and let's get it into this mixture. And now I have 3 bananas that I have cut in slices, and I'm going to add them into what's called the filling mixture, which is not really going to be a filling mixture, but it's going to be something similar. And this is still a lot thicker than he had it in his. Let me add a little bit more milk. Now I added about another half a cup of milk, and it's looking a little bit thinner. So that's looking pretty good. Okay, so let's get started putting the ingredients in the pan. And I've melted my butter. Now I'm going to put the vanilla wafers on the bottom. And I'm going to basically dump them in there. And then try to get them about in a single layer as much as I can without sending cookies everywhere. And it don't have to be pretty because it's going to be underneath the cake, so it ain't going to matter. But I do want to have a bite of vanilla wafer in every bite. Okay, now I've got all the vanilla wafers covering the bottom of the pan. Now let's get the cake mix put on next. Let's see how easy this will go. This cake mix is very thick, and I'm just going to use a spatula as much as I can and pop it on there. Not a spatula, but a spoon, and pop it on there. Look at this. My goodness gracious, it's thick. Okay. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'm going to have to get a spatula out and get down on that because it ain't thin enough to do the other. So let me spatula it around to all the edges. Make sure it's about the same level all the way around. Alright. Now, I'm going to put the banana and filling mixture on top. I'm probably going to need something to put it on too because it's thicker than he had it. His was very watery, mine is not. Now whether this works, we will see. His worked, but his was a lot thinner than mine. Let me go ahead and try to smush all this down. Alright. Now we're going to put this in the oven for 30 minutes to start off with. He said his was about 45 minutes. We will see what it looks like in 30. So let's put it in the oven 350. After 45 minutes cooking, it's down to this. I had to let it cook a little longer to make sure everything was done. I'm going to put it in the microwave to let it cool down slowly, and then I'll ice it when it gets cooled off. Let me get the icing made. It calls for one of these creamy buttercream icings, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the container. Now I've got everything that was in the container, and I'm going to add 1 cup of heavy cream. Here we go. And now I'm going to mix this with the mixer, and it's supposedly going to get this heavy cream to where it's easier for the icing. And I have mixed that. It is a lot thinner than it was, but that's okay because it can possibly pour over top of it easier than I can get it on top of it. So let's go ahead and get the cake. And let's get the icing on top of it. And like I said, I'm going to pour it because it looks like it's going to be easier to pour than it is to put over top. All right. Now let me go ahead and let this layer on over everything. Look at that. That is some icing going on there. And here's what it looks like now that we've got it all iced. So let's go ahead and cut a piece and give one to Danny because he is wanting some. And here we go. Dolly Parton. And it is the Jolene banana pudding cake. Made a little different, but look at the layers. Look at the cookie. Look at the icing. And that is what's for dessert today. And guys, this is what it looks like after it's been in the fridge overnight. You can see the different layers. There is the cake, the cookies on the bottom. The pudding banana mixture is kind of next, and then the cake baked up through the banana pudding mixture, and it's on top. This thing is so juicy and moist. I mean, it is amazing. Grab some here. I don't know if you can see all the different layers in that, but look at that. Whoop, there we go. Look at that. That is so good. And it's even better the next day. So, this is definitely a cake to make. And I know quite a few people who would love this cake. Look at that. So good. Ah, you've got to make it. I tell you what, that Jolene cake is so good. Y'all have got to make that cake. I don't know how the original banana pudding version tasted, but this version is amazing. And even better the day after. I will link the recipe to the original version down below. Like I said, print it out, listen to the video, and I will give you instruction on how to make the Jolene version. You use the same ingredients, but you may use an ingredient a couple different times, like the butter twice. You know, you may need 2 things of milk, 2 things of heavy cream, whipping cream that is. But you know, I will lead you through exactly how I did it to make the most amazing cake. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We would love if you'd become part of our channel's family. And until next week, have a great week and make this cake. It's so good. Bye, everybody.
Don't forget to click that link below and subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos.
And let our family be a part of your family.